So how are we? How are we today, lovely people? How are we today? All right. So I am
Who are you?
I I'm trying to get this audio stuff together. So welcome, folks. This is Sharon, the Heart Lady. You are here tuning in. Please tune in, tune up to, and guess what? Surf in.
I love that. Surf it in.
Surf it in. We are our show that is addressing owning our emotional drama and identifying what we bring to our relationships. We believe healing starts within ourselves first. So we bring to you this unique way of uncovering limiting beliefs about relationships by examining the common cliches, uses of common cliches, and other topics. Okay? So, again, I'm Sharon the Heart Lady. I'm a relationship specialist, and this is co host Dan the Sway Man. And we are so excited to share our views. What's going on? What's going on, Dan the Man?
Aloha, Sharon. Aloha, heart surfers. Welcome to another show of Healing Me Before We. And our topic for today is marriage by numbers. Now,
Mhm.
Sharon, do you remember as a child painting by numbers?
Yes, I do.
How did you enjoy that activity?
Actually, I liked painting and I liked coloring. I'm one of those that did like to stay in the box. So
So you're an in the box kind of gal.
not anymore. But then I was like, oh, I have to be. I cannot go out the line. Everything had to be so perfect. What about you?
And we were taught that, scribbling was not acceptable. And I remember being taught that you want to highlight the lines with your crayon so that if you do go out, you can sort of cheat.
Yeah.
And I'm about not staying in the lines. I'm about finding a way to look like I'm staying in the lines, and I may go out of lines. I'm also about spirit of the law over letter of the law, which is similar to our topic today of framing it, right? Framing
Hmm.
the relationship with the person that you're with, whether you're married to the person, you're in a significant relationship with the person,
Yeah.
and it's giving structure to the relationship, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I'm about that because often when we don't give structure or frame things in our lives, we can sort of just go about it haphazardly.
Yeah.
And the other thing we can do is take it for granted, right? That it's just all going to work out.
Yeah.
Because, we got through that initial phase of, as we've spoken before, falling in love and the butterflies, and that's going to last forever. And so we'll just ride or surf our way, through eternity with that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you and I, who've both been in 40-year plus relationships, know that that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And
Things
that,
are not that smooth and beautiful every day, but it's still a beautiful thing. And so you talked about color by numbers, and we are realizing that there is marriage by numbers.
well,
So,
according to what we've read, yeah, there's
hmm
a couple of different ideas out there that people are putting out there. And the first one is the 3 by 3,
hmm
which I very much agree with because it goes along with healing with me. Look at that, me and three and
three.
all the lines and
So, what is the 3-3-3 rule?
3 3 is 3 hours a week for me to
Hmm.
be able to do the things that I want to do in my life, and
Hmm.
then 3 hours for you a week
Hmm.
to do the things that you want to do.
Mm.
And the important part of it is that each person honors the other person's 3 hours and doesn't try to fill them up with, let's say, a honey-do list.
So
Something
that's
you and
so
I have
that's
spoken about previously as far as,
yeah,
your partner giving you something to do with your 3 hours. Here's how you can spend your 3 hours. I got some ideas for you.
So is that 3 hours a day? Is that what you said, or three
Well,
hours a week?
I'm all for 3 hours a day. I believe it's 3 hours a week. And especially if you're newly married and you have children and you have all other kinds of responsibilities, 3 hours a day is a lot. I don't remember having 3 hours a day when my children were young and growing
Yeah.
up. My wife would say that it would be 3 hours for me and 3 minutes for her. So the 3 minutes and the 3 hours, the only difference is it's minutes and hours.
Yeah. So repeat it for the heart surface one more time. The three three. Go ahead. Excuse me. Go ahead and
Well,
repeat.
the
What are the
three
three?
three is setting aside each week
Hmm.
for each person 3 hours.
Okay.
And that person can do whatever he or she wants to do with those 3 hours.
Okay.
They're what I call me time. Now,
Which
if I
I
want to
agree
use my
with.
me time and be alone, I
Hmm.
can do that. If I want to use my me time and take my children to the movies, I can do that. So if I want to use my me time and go golfing or do some other type of activity, I can do that as well. And it's really important then that our significant other, our spouse, respects that, right? You and I use that word all the time, that
Hmm.
we respect and honor it. It's sacred time.
Yeah.
And so if I honor it as sacred time for you, I would want you in turn to honor it as sacred time for me.
Yes, so the 3 by 3 rule is to keep your relationship, yeah, and your marriage strong, that you said you have structure, and it helps to create boundaries, and you're able to do what you want to do during that three 3 hour, and not feel guilty about it, not feel pressured about it, and it just becomes a routine within the relationship or the marriage, right? And I think
Yes,
having certain routines are real important, for the same reasons that I suggested. It gives you that time where you feel like, okay, as my husband would call it, your personal space.
I like that.
Yeah,
Personal space,
yeah,
absolutely. And
yeah.
it's important to have that personal space for so many reasons. And one is to re-energize,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And we need time for ourselves. I've spoken about this previously. Like I would probably use my 3 hours
Hmm.
some weeks to go to a waterfall and
Mm,
just sit by a waterfall
yeah, that's nice.
and just be one with the waterfall because I've practiced mindfulness.
Yes.
And that's what mindfulness is about. It's about being present to yourself and your surroundings
Yeah.
in a way that allows me to have that sort of openness.
Yeah. And in today's world, just 3 hours without having your electronics, no phone, I practice that quite a bit. I'm like, I do not even know where my phone is at this point, and I'm good. I did that yesterday, as a matter of fact. No phone, no computer. Even though a couple of times I said, man, I should really be on my computer now. And I was like, nope, got computer work to do. And I was like, nope, this is my uh, tech-free day. And it's so important just to rest the eyes, to rest the stimulation in the brain, and just to give yourself that time off of the blue screen. Is real helpful for me. As you said, it rejuvenates me. And I used to get very anxious because I didn't. Now it's just a common thing that I don't even have to worry about it, because guess what? The information is still going to be there the next day. So I'm not missing anything. So yeah, so I put that as a practice. But going back to the 3 3, the 3 by 3 rule, they also have the 3 3 3 rule for relationships in when you're starting to date. So they have a dating timeline. They say that after 3 dates, you should have a good sense of the attraction and whether or not there is a connection. So after 3 dates, you should know if you have a connection. After 3 weeks, now you're more likely have gone on more dates, and then you kind of see, is this seems like a potential to begin a relationship. And then the other three is after 3 months, you should really have a clear picture of who this person is, and then begin to consider, are we having a committed, serious relationship? So there's a 3-3-3 rule on that.
Oh, okay, we got the 3-3 and the 3 by 3 by 3,
That's right.
and we'll add even more to it.
What's that?
And that is the 7-7. So, I'm sure there are lots of numbers that people can play around with.
Yeah.
And the whole point or purpose of this, as I said previously, is to give structure and intention.
Mhm.
Let's bring that word in, right? I'm bringing purpose and intention into my relationship that I begin to take for granted. I would say even after 3 months, maybe even before that, I might already be taking the relationship for granted. It doesn't take that long
It really
because
doesn't. Yeah.
it's kind of like, you get a pair of new shoes, and the first couple days when you're wearing them, you got to sort of, break them in and
Hmm.
become a little more comfortable with them. And
Yeah.
usually by a week or two, you're not even considering how comfortable or uncomfortable they are by that time because
Yeah.
you've already decided that you're keeping them.
Yeah.
And that can happen in relationships as well, right? That
Yeah.
you've already grown comfortable in the relationship. You love the feeling of being in love and the butterflies and all of that wonderful stuff that's been going on,
Yeah.
and you take for granted that that's just going to continue.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And then you have the 7-7-7 rule, as you said, which is a, a guideline, and it just helps couples. I think the purpose of all this is to make sure that you dedicate
Mm,
time,
good word.
dedicate time for each other, because we are so inundated with so much stuff going on in our individual lives and family lives and children, that it's important that we kind of schedule these things, like how they say have date nights, and many people forget about that. So the 7-7 rule is another way of reminding you that you need to take time for dates, take time for getaways, take time for vacations, and these things are all designed to really strengthen your bond with each other. All right. And so every
Well, I
seven,
can tell you what the 7-7 is.
go
The
ahead.
7 is every 7 days go on a date. You and I
That's right.
support that
Mhm.
date night. Every 7 weeks go on a weekend together. Every 7 months go on an extended vacation together. Now that all sounds beautiful and
It's
and lovely and wonderful. It's difficult to make that happen though, especially when you have others in your lives like children, dependents, or elderly people. And so you do have to schedule that time, as you said,
planning.
with
Yes, you have to
intention,
plan.
with purpose, and commitment to it,
Yeah.
right? That you can't let little things come up to derail you from keeping those appointments with each other.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
how
it
do you
is.
decide what's important enough to derail us from doing this?
Yeah.
And that's where the couple has to make that decision together.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to have that communication before you even get into this kind of an agreement about, okay, well, what constitutes an emergency
Yeah.
and what doesn't, right? Is that the babysitter isn't available tonight, that might present an issue that doesn't allow you to go out to a restaurant.
On
And
that seventh
so on that
day.
seventh, so then you be flexible, right?
Exactly.
There's an important word. Okay, you didn't make it on the seventh day. That's okay. That's where we go back to the spirit of the law over the letter of the law.
There
And
you go.
I'm more about that myself. It's
Yeah.
that, okay, if we didn't get to it the seventh, maybe we get to it then, even if it takes to the next week, as
Yeah.
long as we are both in agreement and committed to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. So all of these are designed so that you can strengthen communication. So even on the first date night, as you were saying, maybe that could be, let's plan what we're going to do in the next 7 weeks, and what we're going to do in the next 7 months. And like you said, you don't have to be rigid, be flexible, because maybe the seventh month is a month where you're unable to do that. But
Mhm.
just making sure that you do these things, it helps to reduce stress. It helps to improve the intimacy, and it really gives an intentionality that, hey, we're making time for ourselves. And when we have the 333 or the 3 by 3 or the 777, uh, it kind of is fun because it's something that you can look forward to. It's a nice adaptation. What do you surfers think about this? Is that too strict? Does it make sense to you? Do you have a rule around dating or a framework around when you're going to take time off together? Or maybe you decide that one of those sevens, one of those threes are when you're just going to take the time off for yourself. Dan and I did this episode where we talked about having separate vacations. You should check out that and see what our comments were around that. That was an interesting one because we didn't necessarily share the same thoughts around having separate vacations. So check out that and leave a comment and let us know how you feel about separate vacations and how you feel specifically about these numbers, marriage by numbers.
Marriage
And
by numbers.
Dan, isn't there another number? It's called
Well, I'm sure there are plenty of other numbers that people can use. And I remember talking to a guy, and he
Mhm.
even used numbers for sex, right? And I'm not talking about positions like 69 or anything like that. I'm talking about as far as I see you're in shock. And they would
Okay.
have sex a specific night of the week. It was scheduled,
Mhm.
right? And
Okay.
some people like that and enjoy that. Me personally, I wouldn't favor that so much. I prefer spontaneity.
Spontaneity.
I get it though, that sometimes because your lives are so busy
Mhm.
and you got so many things happening, especially when you have children,
Yeah.
that maybe even have to schedule sex.
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
that falls into some people's lifestyle because they can make it exciting if they know that, hey, Thursday night, this is what we're going to do. Let's do something different and be prepared for it. And again, it's all about prioritizing, right? And um and it also is good for people who want to start a family. They have their times and their schedules on when, fertility is at its peak. So this is, is interesting. One of
Now,
the
the
other,
only thing is, mood is
yeah,
important,
mood
right?
is a, yeah,
Because, people might not be in the mood on that particular night of the week
yeah,
for lots of different reasons, right?
right, yeah,
Or there just may not be circumstances that support it happening.
yeah,
And that's where the flexibility
comes
would
in,
be
yeah,
helpful to come in
yeah,
to play again and say, okay, I recognize that this is our scheduled night for whatever it is that we plan to have together.
yeah,
Can we reschedule?
reschedule.
And that's important, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think if one of the people isn't able to stay with the commitment that each person has made to the other person, be honest about it and just
Hmm.
say, can we reschedule? I would
Yeah,
like to reschedule
yeah,
so that the other person doesn't feel like they're being left out, right? Or have resentment or anger about it
yeah.
because I'm more committed to it than you are, and that's not going to go too well.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. And if you know ahead of time it's about courtesy and respect to
Mhm.
your partner, especially if they've made these great plans. So if you know that it's not going to work here again, why these things are brought about to help improve, strengthen communication. So, letting your partner know, hey, let's reschedule and not wait until they come home and they're ready and geared up, ready to go. And you're like, hold your brakes. So that's important. But real quickly, the 222 rule is about the same thing as the other ones. You can make a date night instead of every 7 days. Maybe you want to do it every 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Maybe you want to have that weekend getaway every 2 months. And maybe you want to have that long vacation every 2 years. And so here it is all again about prioritizing the relationship and what you can do to help create that stronger bond with each other. And it could be fun, strategizing with each other and having something to look forward to can really be fun. So, all right, try it and see how it works.
I love that you bring in the word fun, right? Because
Hmm.
that is essential for any healthy relationship with
Yes.
another person
Yeah.
and for ourselves, right? Because I've said this before, fun means fueling up now. And and
What you
it
say,
can
feeling up
be,
or fueling up? What did you
well,
say?
that too. It can apply to both. However you want to use your present time, for yourself or for with others.
Yeah.
And it's all about giving ourselves the opportunity to laugh like we are doing now, right? And
Yeah.
to enjoy each other's company in a beautiful way, and often in a way that is spontaneous, even though it's scheduled. You can schedule, I've said this phrase before, scheduled spontaneity, because sometimes life is so busy, right? That
Yes.
you almost have to build into it that opportunity for fun and spontaneity within that date
Yes.
by being open to the possibilities
Yeah.
without having it be so structured and rigid, to use your word, that it doesn't allow for that kind of spontaneity to take place.
Yeah. Look at that. Yes. Absolutely. So, folks, what do you think about this topic? I didn't do my homework, so I didn't look for a quote. So that's why you see my eyes diverted, just to let you know this is real time. How about cherish your human connections, your relationship with friends and family? Guess who said that, Dan?
Was
Barbara
this Rodney
Bush.
Dangerfield again?
No, that was Barbara Bush.
Oh, Barbara. Oh, she reminded me of the woman, right, with the pearls, right? Didn't she already have the white pearls going on?
Was that Roosevelt, Eleanor?
Well, maybe it was her. Barbara Bush did that too. She always wore those white pearls, very, very dignified with her white hair. That's what I remember about her. And I
Yeah.
agree with her. It's important that we spend time with the people we love beyond our significant other. It's not to
Mm,
say that our significant other can't be included in that, and maybe
yeah.
they want to be, and maybe they don't want to be, and that's okay too. And that's what allows me then to have that freedom to go spend my time with my friends, that we talked about this one before too, without
Yeah.
my spouse necessarily being there. I did that again this past week. I did invite Maggie to go. It was one of my friends who just retired as a school counselor, Patty Cook. Shout out to her. And Maggie could have joined me, and she chose not to, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And so when we give each other that kind of freedom and opportunity to make these choices,
Hmm.
to me, that in itself is refreshing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Rather than imprisoning.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So, Heart Surfers, we are going to be starting a new season soon, and we would love to invite you as a guest on our show. So maybe you want coaching advice of what's happening, but we don't like to use advice, coaching suggestions,
Invitations.
invitations to what's going on in your life presently, uh, or you would like to be a guest on the show and talk about relationships, or maybe you have your own expertise in the realm of dating, marriage, and committed relationships, we'd love to have you on. So please, go ahead and comment and leave your email or contact information, and we will go ahead, surf on in, and let's get it on. All right. So in relationships, also, Dan, I found a nice quote by Stephen Covey. Many people are familiar with him. And the key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. And so, if having and creating stronger bonds, stronger communication or better communication, if that's a priority, especially when the relationship is getting on the rocks, or especially when there's so much children or activities that are happening, and that you're noticing, hey, we're not spending as much time as we used to, and we want to make sure that we prioritize the time together. So it's not about what's on the schedule, it's about you scheduling that priority.
I like that. I really do. Well, because the busyness of life can just get to all of us,
Yeah, yeah,
right? There's always something going on. There's always something to do.
yeah,
And those things can be distractions from really working on and fortifying our relationships with the ones we love, including our significant other. And I
yeah.
think that's the thing I want to just stay focused with today is recognize that it's so easy to take the relationship for granted. And
Hmm,
that's why relationships don't always work out in the long run because
right,
people stop working at them. And
right.
I used to say that that was a dirty word, no, working at a relationship. And now
Yeah.
I've changed it because I think with working, it means effort, right? You have to
Mm,
put into the relationship. And
mm-hmm.
that's not a dirty word because you have to continuously stay focused on that relationship.
Yeah.
And so one life coach or therapist didn't like the marriage by numbers because she thought it wasn't enough. She
Mm,
thinks that it should be daily with intention, daily with that effort. And I will agree with her.
yeah.
And it is important that we give that kind of time and attention to our partner every day in some small fashion. And in many ways, she related it to what you and I have discussed previously, and that is the different languages of love. Paying attention to your significant others, the partners' languages of love, and how you can help support those languages
Yeah.
in a way that tells them that they're important.
Yeah, and daily it's just little things. It's a text, how are you? I'm thinking of you. It's a little note that you left on the pillow, on the kitchen table, or just in the car. Just little, as I say, little random acts of kindness, a gift because it's no special occasion. All of those things are really little I love yous and a little I'm thinking of you, thoughtful times. So yeah, it's real important that we keep the fire burning, as I like to say.
I like that. And I just did that. I bought Maggie a set of chimes for no reason at all
Mm,
last week, and she just loved them. And now they're in our backyard.
yeah.
And so whenever she hears the chimes, she can think of me
Yeah,
and
there
me
you go.
fulfilling her language of love.
All right, Dan. That's a nice touch. Gotcha, gotcha. That's a very nice touch. All right, Hard Surface, thank you so much for joining us through this episode. We look forward to hearing from you, reading your comments, and again, we invite you to come on as a guest. So we'll put our information in the description, and we hope to see you soon. So, surfs up.
Surf's up. Let's
There
have
we
some
go.
music.
One love, you all. One love. And let me see if I can hook up the
I'm
music
already
for
dancing
us.
before you even got it going. That's all right.
He's already dancing
I'm
with
already
us
in
for the
my
music.
me time. It's all good. I hear it.